Today I'm playing with the back waist darts because I had a student who had two very large back waist darts to fit the smaller waist measurement compared to the full hip. And it got me thinking that having the two waist darts right next to each other, and we played moving them around along the back waist, and we got some good results. But then I started thinking, what if we rotated a waist dart off of the back waistline? What got me thinking about this is my contoured fitting pant pattern I'm working on. And if you look at it here, it basically has two darts shaping the behind, one at the waist and one down here underneath the fullest part of the full hip to create a cup shape. And if I bring in my muslin here, I just want to show you, I'm going to lay it flat. I think you can see that, and I'll do it this way. You can see the shaping built into the center of the pattern here. Okay, and that's more significant than just having a waist dart because we made a princess seam and we added a big fisheye dart under the behind. But I just thought this was kind of an interesting observation that it's almost creating like bust room, right? Just like a princess seam would do in the front. So let's look at, I have two back legs here and they're identical. I drew in two half-scale darts on these half-scale pattern pieces. And what I want to try here is, first I'm going to shut these darts. So as if I were, just sewing these on the regular, like you would. I'm just going to tape them closed here. Now I cut the top waistline before I closed the dart, so the waistline is going to be a little jaggy because I did not account for that when I cut this out. But the whole idea here is, let's see what kind of shape this gives us. All right, so you can see this creates a cup shape, and I want you to notice that the biggest, or the center of the shaping, is directly below the waist darts. So you can see it's, like if I were to draw it in, like really, this is where most of the cup shape is, right here. All right, so now what I want to do, let's rotate this waist dart off to the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut like this. So one dart leg, and then I'm just going to pivot it like this. All right, so now I've got something that looks like this. So what I want to do now is I'm going to fill that with paper. I'll just use this little scrap I have right here. And I'm going to tape that down. I'm going to tape it in the back too because I'm going to fold this dart shut and I want it to be secure. All right, so now let's fold this dart, which is right here. Let's fold this shut like this. So I'm going to go ahead and just tape that right there. And then I'm going to also, let's shut the other dart. I'm going to shut it from this side. All right, and let's look at these two two shapes. They look identical because both of the tips of the darts have not changed position. So the one that I rotated to the side, right here, there are my dart legs, or the tips of my darts still end at the same depth, and they do on this one as well. So basically, if you just rotate a dart and you don't change where the tip of the dart is vertically, you're going to get the same shape regardless of where you put that dart. Now what I want to try is changing the depth of the dart that I rotate. So now what I want to do, let's try lowering or moving this dart down to the full hip. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to mark my full hip. All right, so there's my full hip. I'm going to draw a line down to there, and I'm going to rotate the dart all the way down to here. So one dart will be up at the waist and the other one will be down here. Let's see what happens. So again, I'm just going to rotate this whole thing like this. Okay, and you can see it opens up and makes more room or more ease in this area, right? Because we've got this spread right here, and we've got a big truing up issue if we do that. So what I'm going to do is let me just fill it in with paper here. Oh, actually, I'm going to fill in this section with green so you can see this is what opened up right here. And then this white is basically going to be the dart. Like this. So I'm just gonna tape all this down here. All right, so you can see what we have is we have a situation where we have all of this extra ease, which we can get rid of that by trimming this back off. You know, by trimming it off over here. We could totally, you know, get rid of it there. And then that will help me true up the dart, right? Because if I measure from here, I'm just extending the dart leg back to there, and I'm going to measure that, and I'm going to measure from here. This is going to get cut off, so this X's out that, right? So we're going to put that back. Then I'm going to measure from here to here, and I'm getting like 2 5/8, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to measure 2 5/8 is right here for my other dart leg. Now let's see what happens when we close these darts. Notice this dart is a little bit longer than the original because it was farther away from the edge when I rotated it. So let me just clean this up by folding this into place. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim off all this extra. Okay, so this is the piece that I trimmed off to sort of compensate for the pattern spreading like that. Okay, so we've got some shaping. Let's see where that shaping is. Notice, oh, let me just tape it a little better here. Hold on. All right, so notice we've got shaping down lower, right? So when I close this dart over here, let me close this dart, you can see we've created a different shape, almost a bigger cup for your behind. So this is very cool to me because if you're trying to fit somebody who needs a little bit of a different shape. Remember, the waist darts do more than just fit the back waistline. They direct the fabric down the leg. So you can see here, this side dart is directing the fabric in this direction. Okay, and you can see it creates more a different shape cup. So if we just compare the two shapes we get, I'm going to go ahead and sort of mark the size of, where I'm seeing the top of the fullness here. So here you can see it's a bigger amount, and over here we have, the same cup shape there. So it's almost like rotating the waist dart and lowering it so it's at full hip level will give you a fuller curved shape for your behind. So if you have a prominent behind, or if you carry the fullness lower, having a side waist dart might be a good idea. Now, you might be asking me, well, how's that going to look in the finished pants? If I were doing this to distract from the dart being off to the side, you could put a patch pocket that covers the tips of both darts, and then it would just look like a cool seaming detail, right? Or, having the dart off to the side, depending on the fabric you use, isn't going to be, will be more or less noticeable. But you do have to factor in that you would have a little dart coming in from your side seam. But if it makes a better shape, and also if it makes a better fitting pant, that might be worth the compromise of having the side waist dart. So you have to first decide for yourself, okay, do I care if I have a dart coming in from the side seam? And if you say no, or if you want to camouflage it with a patch pocket, those are the things to consider. But it does make a deeper cup shape on the back leg for a lower, fuller behind. If you have any questions or comments about this, please post them below and I will help you. I hope you're enjoying my pant draft, fit, and design series. Starting in March, I'm going to be moving on to the bodice. It's going to be really, really fun. So thank you guys for following along with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.